Good afternoon to you guys all here. Happy Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Hope you guys are all doing well out there today. We're going to start things off today with our satellite imagery, what we have going on across the United States. And it's actually very quiet. It's very nice. And it's going to continue to stay that way for a majority of the west and central plains. We do have a little bit of an uptrend in our severe weather event for tomorrow. We've now got a level 2 slight risk at play for hail and wind tomorrow across the lower Ohio Valley and into the northern Mississippi River Valley there. We'll talk about that here again in just a second as well. But besides tomorrow, severe weather threat, that's really should be it in terms of what we're going to see for the next couple of days. There might be a little low end marginal risk somewhere along the East Coast setting up for on Thursday or on Friday, I should say. But like I said, not expecting any severe weather outbreaks. We're going to have what's going to be called a troughing that's going to move through on the eastern side of the United States, giving us a little bit of a severe weather threat for the next 48 hours. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Overall, what you're seeing on your screen here is going to be what's called our silent imagery here. And you can see majority of the United States here, very, very, very quiet here, even along the East Coast here, very, very quiet here. What you do notice, though, and I will point this out, you can already start to see our troughing kind of starting to develop here. And what's actually going to happen is this jet stream where you see the West Coast here, you can see that low moving up. It's going to go over top of our ridge. We have an imaginary high pressure system that's technically sitting here right now. That's going to work its way to the east here over the end of the weekend, making the Ohio Valley and the Northeast a lot warmer than what we're seeing right now, even though it is pretty decent outside. But we're going to see this troughing and this low pressure system that's going to basically dip down out of Canada over the next 48 hours, and it's going to change this meridional jet stream more to a actual deep troughing jet stream here is what I would call it in terms of explaining it to you guys here. We're basically going to see a troughing setup over on the East Coast and into the lower Mississippi and the mid-Atlantic here, giving us a little bit of a cooler below average trend in the next couple of days before things really start to warm back up here. Another view from this as well, just going to kind of look at the overall basic satellite imagery here, our national radar reflectivity. We actually do have some showers and some storms that are ongoing across the Ohio Valley this morning due to that troughing that is setting up here. Just something to kind of take note of here. Got some rain falling, even possibly some low and snow showers up towards portions of northern Illinois and Indiana. As you can see, that cold air is definitely in place for some areas, but mostly just looking at rain. We'll have general thunderstorms that are going to work through this northwesterly to southeasterly flow this afternoon, but other than that, no severe weather expected today. We do have, I believe, some elevated snow showers up here into portions of UP Michigan, up here near New York, seeing some snow showers, also seeing some rain moving into portions of northern Nebraska there into southern South Dakota. But overall, the globe looking very, very quiet today, other than that convection that's moving across the Ohio Valley this afternoon. Like I said, you might hear some rumbles of thunder. We're going to get some more rain, which we don't need, but this isn't going to be anything crazy in terms of widespread rainfall amounts or any of that. So nothing too concerning in terms of the overall picture for you guys. Now, I do want to talk about what tomorrow is going to bring here very, very briefly. Let me get this switched over so you guys can see this. Let's go to our day 2 categorical outlook for tomorrow, and you can see the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal and a slight risk for severe weather tomorrow here for the Ohio Valley. We got central and southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southwestern portions of Ohio, Kentucky, western North Carolina in it down here into portions of eastern Missouri, eastern Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia in that level 1 yellow, green shaded area here. And then we do have a level 2 risk there in the yellow shaded area. This is going to be a wind hail threat, a wind and damaging wind threat and a hail threat tomorrow. There will be a threat for a very, very low and isolated tornado risk because our winds are going to be moving out of the northwest to the southeast. We don't have that shear out of the southwest giving us the overall tornado potential, so this is going to be more of a potential guerrilla hail event tomorrow. We could see hail up to egg size potentially tomorrow if things do in fact come to what's being forecasted for tomorrow. So make sure you have your cars covered up tomorrow, just something to kind of make a note of here. I will show the probabilities here as well, tornado probabilities in that green shaded area there, Memphis, portions of Nashville, Huntsville. You guys just can't catch a break here, but the good news is very, very low in tornado risk for tomorrow, 2% there in the green. Probability of hail as well there, 15% in the yellow, 5% there in the maroon, and then also looking at a damaging wind threat probability 15 and 5 as well tomorrow, yellow and maroon shaded areas. So we will be watching those areas for severe weather for tomorrow. We've also got a day 3 outlook here as well. You can see along the east coast of North Carolina, this front's going to push off very, very quickly here. Basically the outskirts of the central and eastern North Carolina coastline here, looking at a wind and a hail threat, maybe a brief spin up tornado if things do materialize there. But we'll be actually live covering tomorrow's event. We're going to try out this new software here that we've got for tomorrow's live stream, so make sure y'all come into the live stream, give us some feedback, let me know what you guys think in tomorrow's live stream. Also, I want to mention one thing as well. We will be giving away our Nintendo Switch bundle on Saturday. Yes, that will finally be happening on Saturday. We are not expecting any severe weather at all whatsoever to make that inconvenient, so if you still would like to subscribe, you can subscribe via link in my bio on TikTok, or you guys can also subscribe as well when we're live streaming on TikTok for you guys here that watch on YouTube. So make sure you guys are following me on TikTok that do watch on YouTube. Other than that, make sure you guys do subscribe as always. There on the bottom of your screen, you'll see that little lovely emoji pop up there. Make sure y'all are subbed on here if you are new to the YouTube channel. I do appreciate you guys very, very, very much as always. We'll go ahead and dive in as well to what our models are showing here, kind of get us an idea of what we're going to see for tomorrow's event here. And you can see we got rain and showers, like I said, moving across the Ohio Valley here this morning through this afternoon here. The rumbles of thunder will be out ongoing. Could see an elevated wind or hailstorm developing overnight tonight. Not going to be too concerned about that. It's going to be tomorrow. As we start to see instability will increase through tomorrow afternoon. We'll actually have some pretty decent amount of instability in this corridor tomorrow, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram, maybe even a little bit higher than that in some areas. We'll have some pretty decent lapse rates. Those stronger lapse rates basically make up for what's going to be the damaging wind and the hail threat for tomorrow. You can see scattered cells popping up tomorrow. And you can see a couple of these might have some rotation potentially embedded in them. So we're going to have to watch eastern Arkansas and western portions of Tennessee, northwestern Mississippi tomorrow afternoon for maybe a brief spin up isolated tornado. But like I said, not going to be anything near what we've been seeing over the last couple of days here. Another thing that we're also going to be watching here as well, I'm going to be seeing out there for the potential for hail, as I mentioned. Damaging wind will be anywhere from 60 to 70 miles per hour, and then most of those storms will work their way off to the east. By Friday morning, we should see that low spinning off the east coast. They're giving us an isolated threat on Friday for some type of severe weather setup. Now, let's just talk about one other thing as well here. Going to be the overall jet stream pattern and what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days. As I mentioned here at the beginning of the video, you can start to see that jet stream setting up here, which is going to give us that low that's going to deepen. It's going to move. It's going to give us that severe weather threat, that low and severe weather threat we're going to see for the next 2 days. That jet stream will deepen. That ridge to the west will also deepen. You can see this is kind of what we call an omega block pattern. This is typically something we would see during the summertime. Not full-fledged omega block, but you can see a very strong high pressure system dominating here, giving us very warm temperatures. Low pressure system on the east here, giving us very cool temperatures with precip, as well possibly even some elevated snow showers up into Michigan and up into Canada. That low is going to crash out by Sunday. So this low will be in place for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we start to see things warm up. That ridge will start to break down by the time next week gets here. We'll see a high pressure still sitting out over here over the southern plains. We could be looking at another potential winter storm or some type of low and severe weather threat maybe going into the beginning of next week. Not set in stone on that yet, but we do start to see subtropical jet stream gets a little bit more active. We'll start to eventually see our MJO kick off some more troughing again as we go towards the end of April, but we could be looking at a pretty decent shot at some storms potentially late or early to mid next week. Still a little bit uncertain on that timing there. And then we start to see potentially for a maybe central plains, southern plains severe weather event well far out in advance. We'll talk more about that in terms of what we're going to be seeing down the road in next week's video with that setup. But just another idea to kind of give you guys what we could see with precip. You can see snow showers, isolated snow showers across Michigan, Canada, up towards northwestern New York there. I don't think most of that's going to stick at all. It should mostly just be snow flurries if you do get anything. You can see that cold front crashing in tomorrow, giving us some rain across the Kentucky, Ohio Valley, and Tennessee Valley there. And then that low deepens. It goes to about 1,007 millibars there, giving us a little bit of some rain across the east coast and the northeast on Friday. And then that system leaves in place a little bit some colder air behind, giving us a cold end of the weekend with temperatures rebounding behind that as we go towards next week. You do start to notice there's a little upper level low that tries to develop up here into the northern high plains up towards Minnesota and Wisconsin. We'll have to watch that for any rain and snow showers that could develop there. But other than that, I don't look to be seeing any major severe weather outbreaks. Really just going to have these lower hanging Arctic air masses that are just going to stall out over the next couple of weeks here. And that's really going to be a big picture. So if you like that cool crisp air, 40s, 50s, 60s, still you got about 2 more weeks of this to kind of hang around before we should start to push our ridging off to the east here, giving us that cold air to be kind of gone by the time May gets here. We should see very, very nice and warm temperatures across the west coast, the central plains. It's going to be very nice. Get out there, enjoy the weather for sure. I don't see any major systems coming in at least until the end of potential of February, or not February, but of April here, and we could see maybe some severe weather resparking back up, but that's over 300 hours out. We'll talk more about that when we get into range for that run there. So other than that, guys, I will leave this video at that for y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching too. You make sure you guys watch this. Make sure you guys can subscribe if you are able to. I do appreciate y'all very, very much as always. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you guys in the next one.